Welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the show, episode 25 today of the Cabral Concept. The 3 big takeaways, as well as the links to all of the research or previous shows, will be at stephencabral.com/2525 today. I've got a great topic. Hopefully it excites you for the new year, whether you're looking to transform your body in terms of maybe losing 5 pounds, 10 pounds, or even 100 pounds. I want to share with you the simplest formula in order to reach your weight loss goals. So honestly, this is now from over 20 years of helping people in private practice, with, I would say, the first 10 years dedicated to really body transformation. And so one of the things that I found is that, again, this goes back to the 80-20 rule. If you've never heard about that before, I'll link up a podcast, the 80-20 rule. But basically what it means is this, that 80% of your results are going to come from 20% of what you do. The problem is most people are not focused on the 2 out of 10 things that they could be doing. They're focused on sometimes the 8 out of 10 things they're doing that are only giving them 20% of the results. And they're wondering why they're not getting the results of other people that might be trying to achieve the same goal. So I want to share with you today literally the 20% of things that you need to do, only the 2 things, the 2 out of 10, versus all the other things you could be doing, but it's still going to get you 80% or more of the results that you want. And that's why I call it the simplest formula, because there's less to do. The other thing is that's going to be, I don't know, maybe a little controversial, is that I want you to do less in terms of trying to get well or lose the weight, whatever it might be, and only do more if you have to. And that's going to seem strange, but I'm going to actually share with you again from private practice why I found this to be the best methodology. I mean, really, I found this to be without a doubt the best methodology, and it works the best too, because again, at the end of the day, if you want to lose the weight for whatever reason is your goal. For me, if someone loses, if they're 20 plus pounds overweight, like if they're 10 pounds, 20 pounds over their ideal weight, it's really no big deal. It's probably not going to affect your health dramatically unless your hormones or blood sugar or other things are like that are off. But if it's vanity wise, that's a different story. But you are most likely, 9 out of 10 times, you're going to live longer. You're going to have better quality of life. You're going to have better circulation, better hormones, better sleep, less chances for things like sleep apnea, type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, stroke, high cholesterol, heart attacks, or cancer. So it's if we can do one thing, we found this over and over, it's just help people get to their healthy body weight. It doesn't mean super thin or 6-pack abs. It's not what it means. That's not what getting to a healthy body weight means. And I have a whole show based on, from most people's height, there's a 30 to 40 pound swing of what's a healthy body weight. So I'll try to link that one up for you today. Again, everything will be at stephencabral.com/2525. All right, let's dive into the show. The formula is very simple. There's 2 parts to it. I told you there'd be 2 parts. This is it. We're going to use that 80-20 rule. The first part is this. Most humans can lose about 10 pounds per month safely and healthily and able to maintain it. That's big, right? Because we could get you to lose 20 plus pounds in a month. We really could. Is that safe? Maybe. It just depends on how you're losing it. Is it able to be maintained? Probably not, right? That's unlikely. But if we can help you to lose 8 to 10 pounds, which is 2 to 2.5 pounds per week, every single week, could we do that? Absolutely. Can you maintain that? 100%, because you're going to understand how you lost the weight, and then you're going to be able to see yourself if you start to slide back, catch yourself, and then pull it right back. All right, so let's get into it. The formula is actually quite easy. So now that we know how much weight that you can safely lose per month and that you can maintain in a healthy way, what do we need to do? We just need to figure out what your desired weight is. It should be a healthy weight. or how many pounds you want to lose. You can look at it however you want, right? You end up with the same number at the end of the day. But a lot of people say, well, I felt better when I was 160 pounds and now I'm almost 200 pounds. Okay, again, we got it. We got the math. So person wants to get down to 160, they're about 200 pounds. So we want to lose 40 pounds. Okay, so if we know then the formula, which is about 10 pounds per month on average, might be 8, but we can shoot for 10 and we can achieve that. I'm going to share with you the formula in just a moment. Then what we say is it's going to take about 4 months in order to lose that weight. Now, you might, if you're quick with math and you know the calendar, you know that there's basically an extra week every 3 months in terms of a calendar, right? Because if you would take 4 weeks and multiply by 12, you get 48. So every single quarter, there's another week. So when you look at it, you get an extra week in there, which allows you to then take it down to 2 pounds a week of weight loss. All right, but we'll save that math for maybe a separate show. But it's very simple. All you need to do is take the amount of weight that you want to lose and divide it by 10, and that's the amount of months that it should take you in a healthy and safe way to lose it. Could take you a little bit more, could take you a little bit less, but really that's where we've seen it to be. So simple formulas, you want to lose 30 pounds, divide by 10, all right, we're at 3 months. 40 pounds, as we just spoke about, 4 months, 50 pounds, 5 months, 100 pounds, 10 months, right? So if you have 100 pounds to lose, then you can be like, oh, okay, get it. Yeah, I get it. I'm going to lose it over the course of 10 months. I'm going to lose some this month, a little bit more the next month, a little bit more. This month I didn't lose as much. The next month I lost even more. So you're going to lose that weight over that 10 months. And so this is a really simple formula that I think gives you a little bit of leeway. You can actually sit back a little bit and say, oh, I'm not going to do this in the next 2 weeks. And that's okay. Because the truth is, let's just say you're, 48 years old. Okay, so 48 years old and you want to lose 40 pounds. All right, so it's going to take you 4 months. No big deal. But then over that 4 months, before your next birthday, certainly, you're going to have the weight off, and then you're going to be able to maintain that for the rest of your life. And hopefully you live another 52 years, right? So it's do it once, do it right, and try to do it stress-free. So that's what I'm going to try to teach as what I'm teaching right now. So the first part of the formula is just divide it by 10. That's the easiest way to do it. It's the simplest math. And that's without a doubt what we've seen work out of the gates. All right. So here's though the real finessing behind it. You're most likely going to see a lot more weight loss in month 1. There's no doubt about it. And that's not to be upset about. That's not to be, that's to be expected. We'll put it that way. But it also then gives you a little leeway over those next 2 months or 3 months. It's all built in, right? It's all built into the formula. So this one more thing I want to share is that even though you will lose the most weight in that first month, if you're kind of following the plan that we've recommended, it does not mean that you need to get overly ambitious or crazy right out of the gates. And I mean that in the best positive way, especially this time of year. People are all in, be like, I'm going to go to the gym 5 or 7 days a week. I'm going to go there for an hour. And I say to you, I don't know that you want to do that. I don't know about that. I actually would probably push against it. And that is because, have you ever tried that before? Have you ever been successful? If you say, I've tried it before and haven't been successful, why? What's different about this time? That this time is going to be so magical that it's going to work in your favor. I would say that if we go too hard out of the gates, we get sore, we get tired, something throws us off, we see a week where we're not losing the weight, but we're putting in the work, we're going to get discouraged. I would actually recommend the reverse of it. And that's what I say that's a little bit controversial. So I actually just recommend doing the minimal possible work, knowing that you will do more in the future, in the beginning, in order to get to that 10-pound weight loss. And what I mean by that is this. You don't need to do an hour of working out if you've done 0 before. There's actually not a point to. Because why would you run to the finish line, right? Or try to jump to the top of the ladder when you haven't moved the entire course yet, right? Get your body used to it. And plus, you're going to plateau no matter what. So if you're doing an hour of cardio or HIIT or Metcon workouts now, what do you have to ramp up to? Literally nothing. You've already gone to the max, right? So if you're running for an hour and you've already dropped your calories, what are you going to do? Run for an hour and a half? And when you plateau there, what are you going to run for 2 hours a day? This is an impossible task and ask to ask yourself. It's impossible, and it's not going to be maintainable. So again, could you do it? Sure. They do it on The Biggest Loser, right? The TV show from a million years ago. What do? 6 hours a day of workouts, sauna, minimal calories. Yeah, you could lose 20, 30 pounds in a week if you're 200 pounds overweight. No doubt about it. Is that maintainable? No. Is it sustainable? Absolutely not. Did any of the contestants keep the weight off a year or 2 years later? Very few, if any. Because they didn't set them up for success. I want you to be successful. And these things are basically, for the most part, all free. Like I've got podcasts on all of them. There are some fancy things that you can do that work even better. I'll share those with you, but that's your choice. You don't have to do them. So what do you start at for exercise? Well, if you haven't done 10,000 steps a day, for sure, that's where you start. You start with walking. You might be like, walking, that's what you're telling me to do for weight loss? Part of it, 100%. Walk 10,000 steps. Ideally after meals. It's going to keep your blood sugar levels from going too high. It's called a postprandial glucose spike, or just postprandial glucose, post-meal sugar spike. That's the thing. Like, you want to be able to eat carbohydrates? Yeah, me too. I think that you should be able to. Go for a little walk after dinner. Go for a walk after lunch if you can. 3 20-minute walks a day. I mean, you're going to get to 10,000 steps. There's no doubt about it. And yes, it will do tremendous wonders with the weight loss. But don't worry about doing even long distance or cardio or weight training or anything. If you're not doing them yet, we'll get there. You're going to get there for sure. No need yet. It's not going to, yeah, it can help you lose more weight up front. But again, we need to be able to pull those out of our pocket when we start to plateau. And again, I've worked with hundreds of thousands of clients. So like I've seen this play out in the real world. So the goal is this: you get your nutrition and your exercise to start. I understand that it's not all about calories in, calories out. I've been preaching that for the last 10 years and at least the last 6 or 7 on the podcast. But here's what you need to do. You need to start with nutrition, right? So right here, talking about this literally all day on seminars and all that. Functional medicine detox, 21 days. That's where you want to start. So I formulate the one for Equal Life, functional medicine detox. You can find it at stephencabral.com/detox. You don't have to complete it. You don't have to do it at all. But you're going to start with some diet or some weight loss plan. We also have the Fatlocity weight loss plan. You can start with that. You can start with your favorite book's weight loss plan. You can do an online course. You can work with your personal trainer and nutritionist, whatever it is. But you're going to do an elimination diet of some type that's going to last 21 days. All right. So you're going to get tremendous weight loss from that and the walking. Like, that's what you're going to do. So for us, people will lose 10 to 21 pounds in 21 days. That's our average, right? It's a big average, but well, how come some people lose 21 pounds? Because they might have 50 plus pounds to lose, right? If you have 20 pounds to lose, you're probably not going to lose 20 pounds in 21 days, but you very well may lose 10, you might lose 12, right? Okay, so now you only have 7 more pounds, 10 more pounds to go, and you work that off the rest of the time. Like, again, if you have 20 pounds to go, we can lose that over 2 months. That's the goal, right? Divide by 10. So you're going to do something for 21 days, and it's going to be more stringent, but you're not going to do that for the rest of your life. I mean, it's not maintainable. All the people doing keto or carnivore, you're not maintaining that. Not even 1 out of 100 will maintain it. Not even 1 out of 1,000 will. Again, and I don't think that you probably should. I don't think it's very well balanced in general. If you're doing it for medical reasons, then okay, then work with a practitioner on it. But you're going to do something stringent for 21 days. Does it mean you can't complete it? No, of course you can complete it. It should be something that you can complete. So you can do it for 21 days. Then I would love you to listen to a podcast called How Not to Retox After a Detox. Doesn't matter if you're doing the functional medicine detox or not that we're doing with our community. It does not matter. But listen to the show. It's free on how to slowly ease carbohydrates back into your diet without gaining weight. Here's why. Because every single weight loss plan that you're going to be on is most likely going to drop your calories or drop your carbohydrates, most likely, because it's effective. Like, that's why, because it works. But you can't do that forever, and especially not with women. And we see this in our practice. Again, we work with 20,000 appointments a year. So here's the thing. Most people, again, 1 out of 10 men and 1 out of 5 women, they'll see lower thyroid levels after 4 weeks. If you're on low carb for more than 4 to 6 weeks, you may start to see your metabolism drop and your thyroid levels drop. So again, be careful with that. So you're just going to ease it back in. I have a whole podcast on how to do that. It's completely free. stephencabral.com/2525. So check that out. Okay. So for the first month, we're dedicated to walking plus a elimination diet or the functional medicine detox or Fatlocity, whatever you choose. Okay. So then after that, we've got our easily 10 pounds of weight loss in the first month, probably 10 to 15. Okay, so good. We had a nice, strong start to our first month. Then after that, what are we going to do? Because we know that we might start to see 1 pound, 1.5 pounds of weight loss after that per week. Not bad. Nothing wrong with that. But what if we want to ramp it up a little bit? Okay, then we need to do something that's more metabolically active. So we're not going to stop our walking. Everything is building off of this, okay? We're going to now do maybe cardio. That counts as walking, but you might go for a jog. You might do a rowing machine. You might do an upright bike. You're going to do something that expends more calories, that helps to burn off more glycogen reserves. I've talked about this before we get into more of this sprint training or HIIT. We're not doing that yet. We're just taking our body to that next level, all right? We're going to start to eat a little bit more balanced, but watching what we're eating. And we're going to do that, and we're going to watch that weight. Then we're going to move from a plateau, then we're going to move on to that next thing to step it up. After that, we need to get our muscles more metabolically active, not just our heart and lungs, okay? So what we want to do is body weight training. You can do bands, you can do weights, there's no doubt about it, but you just need to start moving your body 2 to 3 times a week, ideally. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, all of that's great. Does it need to be an hour-long weight workout? No. It can be a 20 to 30-minute body weight training workout. You're just moving your body, and you're pushing your body now anaerobically, moving the muscles. Again, I have probably 300 Training Thursday podcasts, so you can check those out at stevencabral.com/podcasts. And so that's what we're doing. And now, again, so that takes care of our month 2. We've moved into now some cardio, and then we start to plateau. Maybe at the beginning of month 3, we add in now some more weight. We add in weight training. Great. So what are we doing now in month 3? Okay, we've now fine-tuned and really gotten as much as we can out of the nutrition and almost how we can out of what we can out of exercise. The last piece of the exercise, again, we're doing this safely. By the end of month 3, maybe, is getting into more of the high-intensity interval training, maybe a spin class, maybe a metabolic conditioning class, anything like that then that's going to then supercharge the body. And now the nice thing about sprint intervals is that you might do 5, maybe 10 maximum. That's it. Most people, honestly, when you're first starting out, 3 to 5 at the end of a workout. That's it. That's a lot. 20 seconds to 40 seconds, maybe a minute of sprinting, followed by twice that amount to 3 times that amount in rest. Yeah, I mean, you're going to feel that, and that's going to boost that metabolism. All right, by the time you get to this point, you're just going to need to just say, okay, many people have already met their weight loss goals by the end of 3 months. 20, 30 pounds easily met by the end of that 3 months, 12 weeks, 13 weeks. So then after that, it's just saying, okay, have you plateaued again? Well, if you've maxed out your nutrition and you've maxed out your exercise, you have to then either go lower in calories or increase exercise. If you've maxed out how low you're willing to go in calories, I think there is a point that you should say, okay, that's good. Can't eat any less than this because I'm not getting my micronutrients. And you put in the amount of time that you can get out of a workout, like 40 minutes 4 times a week or 30 minutes 5 times a week, then that's it. Like that's good. There are diminishing returns by doing more and more. Because again, is that maintainable? And I would say that it's not for most people. So do something that's maintainable. So now you have to say, okay, what more can I do? All right, now you can move back to a 7-day functional medicine detox, which is what? Okay, stringent for 7 days. What if you say, hey, I don't want to do a functional medicine detox? I say, no problem. You're going to go back to an elimination diet of whatever type that you like that's more stringent for 7 days. Not 21, but 7 this time. So now you're going to drop another 3 to 5 pounds. Great. We pushed past that plateau. And then you may want to look into something like a Fatlocity program that's going to help you get through that last few pounds as well, at least an extra couple pounds per month, just with clinically backed scientific use of herbs like capsaicin and other things that help boost the metabolism. Or at this point, you may want to look into just hormones. Make sure your hormones are normalized in terms of cortisol or thyroid or whatever that might be. And then you're going to be able to ride that next wave. And so this is how we do it. I mean, this is exactly the formula that we use to be able to safely and healthily help people lose the weight, but then also maintain that weight loss as well. So hopefully you saw in this model, it's actually doing less up front, especially in terms of like your exercise and movement, and adding that in strategically as you begin to plateau, you then begin to do things that are more metabolically active, burn more calories, but also boost your metabolism and work in your advantage to better balance glucose. So hopefully this was helpful. If there's anything I left out, if you have additional questions, feel free to let us know. Now, we can't link up any of the protocols we use, but you can certainly find those by going to stephencabral.com/detox or stephencabral.com/fatlocity. But also keep in mind, at stephencabral.com/2525, all the free resources will be there. How not to retox after a detox, free detox course, all the free training Thursdays, all those workouts, and all, by the way, for 2023, if you're an IUBON member, all the workouts are free. You get online workouts every day of the week inside of the IUBON app. And you can find out about that at stephencabral.com/IUBON. So my goal is to just try to help take away the excuses, give you the knowledge that you need to make things simpler and actually to get the results that you want this year. So thank you so much. Appreciate you. And I'll be back tomorrow. So take care and I'll talk with you then. Did you know that the body really only becomes sick or imbalanced in only two ways? Over time, you become deficient in vital nutrients, and you also accumulate toxins internally and from the environment. As those nutrients diminish and you increase your total toxic load, your body then begins to show the first signs of dis-ease. It's actually quite predictable, and the good news is that if we know how you began to fill up that proverbial rain barrel, we also know how to empty it to begin the healing process. I was fortunate enough to learn this ancient healing process from my mentor after suffering from debilitating diseases for close to a decade. It was only when I began to implement these techniques did I finally overcome my illnesses and go on to live a life of energy and vitality that I now enjoy. I'd like to share with you now what I discovered after traveling all over the world and how to combine the best of ancient healing wisdom with state-of-the-art science. Allow me to teach you exactly how I've been able to help over 250,000 people to empty their rain barrel and begin to transform their body and lives into what they've always hoped they could be. To get your copy of the international bestseller, The Rain Barrel Effect, simply go to stephencabral.com/rainbarrel.